The vast expanse of space stretched before Supreme Commander Tejo as he stood on the command deck of the Celestial Harmony. His forearms rested behind his back, antennae twitching with anticipation. As the leading diplomat of the Ramari species and representative of the Galactic Confederacy, he had overseen 17 first contact scenarios. None had prepared him for today. "Commander, the unknown vessel has changed course. It's heading directly toward our position," reported Officer Sujin, her bioluminescent skin pulsing with anxiety. Tejo nodded. "Maintain position. Let them approach." The Galactic Confederacy had enjoyed 5 centuries of peace among its 37 member species. Their scientific and cultural achievements were unmatched in this sector of the galaxy. Yet they had always wondered if they were truly alone in the greater cosmos. "We're receiving unusual energy readings," said Chief Science Officer Minho, his 6 eyes blinking rapidly as he studied the holographic display. "Nothing matches our database. The power output is concerning." "Weapons status?" asked Tejo. "Defensive. Shields at full capacity," answered Security Chief Juri. Her scaled skin shimmered under the soft blue lights of the bridge. "Though I remind the commander that our vessels are primarily scientific and diplomatic in nature." Tejo knew this well. The Confederacy had outgrown warfare generations ago. Their ships carried minimal defensive capabilities, enough to ward off space debris and the occasional cosmic storm. True weapons of war were relics in their museums. "All ships maintain formation." Tejo ordered the small greeting fleet of 5 vessels. "Prepare standard greeting protocols." The tension on the bridge thickened as a massive shape emerged from the darkness. First came the bow, angular and sharp, unlike the smooth curves of Confederate design. Then the main body appeared, a behemoth that dwarfed their largest vessel. "Stars above," whispered Sujin. "It's enormous." The alien ship was unlike anything they had ever seen. Where Confederate ships resembled elegant sea creatures, this vessel looked built for one purpose: power projection. Its hull was covered with what appeared to be weapon ports, sensor arrays, and reinforced plating. "They're hailing us," said Communications Officer Daewon, his thin fingers hovering over the console. "Open channel," said Tejo, straightening his ceremonial robes. The main screen flickered to life, revealing a being that resembled no species in the Confederacy. It stood upright on 2 limbs, with only 2 arms and a head with forward-facing eyes. Its skin appeared soft and vulnerable, with no scales, exoskeleton, or protective features visible. "This is Captain Jisoo of the Earth vessel Prometheus," said the alien in perfect galactic standard. "On behalf of humanity, we extend greetings to your people." Tejo felt his heart's racing. The translation matrix had worked perfectly, suggesting advanced linguistic technology. "I am Supreme Commander Tejo of the Galactic Confederacy. We welcome you to our space." The human smiled, a gesture Tejo couldn't interpret. "We've been exploring this sector for some time. Your civilization appears quite impressive." "We are curious about your vessel," Tejo said carefully. "Its design is unique to our experience." Captain Jisoo nodded. "The Prometheus is one of our exploratory vessels designed for deep space missions. We come seeking knowledge and diplomatic relations." "Exploratory vessel?" Tejo exchanged glances with his officers. If this massive war machine was merely for exploration, what did their actual military ships look like? "Perhaps," Tejo suggested, "we might arrange a cultural exchange. Our scientist would be honored to visit your ship, and we would welcome representatives aboard the Celestial Harmony." "We would be delighted," replied Captain Jisoo. "Shall we say in 3 standard hours? That will give us time to prepare for guests." After the communication ended, the bridge erupted in excited conversation. "Did you see the reinforced hull plating?" asked Juri. "And those were definitely weapon ports." "Yet they speak of peace," mused Tejo. "Fascinating contradiction." Minho approached with a data pad. "Commander, preliminary scans indicate their ship's power core operates on principles unknown to our science, and the hull material could withstand impacts that would obliterate our vessels." Tejo gazed at the human ship through the viewport. We are witnessing something extraordinary today, a species that built ships for war, yet travels for peace. Prepare the diplomatic team. I will lead the delegation myself. As his officers scrambled to prepare, Tejo couldn't shake the feeling that the galaxy had just become a much more complicated place. The humans had arrived, and nothing would ever be the same again. The delegation of 7 aliens followed Lieutenant Commander Do-hyun through the airlock connecting their vessels. Tejo led his team, walking on 4 articulated legs while his 4 arms maintained perfect diplomatic posture. Behind him came Science Officer Minho, Security Chief Ju-ri, Cultural Liaison Hye-jin, Biologist Sang-min, Engineer Yu-jin, and Medical Officer Jin-woo. "Welcome aboard the Prometheus," said Do-hyun with a slight bow. The human officer stood tall, her black uniform adorned with various insignia the aliens couldn't decipher. "Captain Jisoo sends her regrets that she cannot greet you personally. She's overseeing some maintenance issues but will join us soon." Tejo's antennae twitched as he processed the new environment. The air contained higher oxygen levels than his species preferred, and the gravity felt slightly stronger. Most striking was the size of everything. Corridors built for beings much larger than most Confederate species. "Your ship is quite robust," said Tejo, noting the thick walls and reinforced doors. Do-hyun smiled. The Prometheus was built to withstand a variety of space conditions. "Shall we begin the tour?" As they walked, Engineer Yu-jin fell into step beside Do-hyun. "These hallway walls appear to be triple reinforced," she observed. "Is that standard in human vessels?" "Of course," Do-hyun replied casually. "Basic safety protocol. Space is dangerous." The aliens exchanged glances. Their own ships featured single-layer hulls with emergency force fields that rarely activated. The difference in philosophy was striking. They entered a vast chamber filled with humming machinery. Workers in different colored uniforms moved purposefully between stations. Some operated on exposed panels while others monitored glowing displays. "This is engineering," explained Do-hyun, "the heart of our ship." Chief Engineer Ha-neul approached, wiping grease from his hands. "Welcome. Sorry about the mess. We're recalibrating the secondary power systems." Minho moved closer to examine a pulsing energy core. "Fascinating. Your power output must be enormous." "Enough to power our systems and weapons if needed," Ha-neul said proudly. "Triple redundancy on all critical systems." "Weapons?" asked Ju-ri, her scales darkening with concern. "Standard defensive arrays," clarified Do-hyun quickly. "For protection against space debris and unforeseen circumstances." They continued to a massive chamber where dozens of humans gathered around tables, consuming various substances. "Our mess hall," said Do-hyun. "Would you like to observe human dining customs?" The aliens watched in astonishment as humans casually consumed items in different states, solid, liquid, even steaming hot beverages. "Is that not dangerous?" asked Medical Officer Jin-woo, pointing to a crew member drinking a dark brown liquid. "Oh, that's coffee," laughed Do-hyun. "It contains caffeine, helps us stay alert during long shifts. Our scans indicate that substance would be toxic to most of our species," said Jin-woo. "Really? Interesting." Do-hyun seemed genuinely surprised. "Humans consume it multiple times daily." The tour continued through living quarters, recreation areas, and scientific labs. Everywhere they went, the aliens noted the same pattern. Everything built with extraordinary durability, redundant systems, and an underlying readiness for conflict. They entered the bridge where Captain Jisoo rose from her command chair to greet them. "Commander Tejo, welcome. I hope you're finding our vessel educational." "Indeed," replied Tejo. "Your ship is impressive, though quite different from our designs." "How so?" asked Jisoo. "Your focus on defensive capabilities is pronounced," said Tejo carefully. "The Confederacy builds primarily for scientific and diplomatic purposes." Jisoo nodded. "Earth has a complex history. We learned early that exploration and self-protection must go hand in hand." A sudden alarm blared through the ship. The human crew immediately shifted posture, moving with practiced efficiency to their stations. "Status report," demanded Jisoo calmly. Minor coolant leak on Deck 7, reported an officer. Containment teams responding. Keep me updated, said Jisoo before turning back to the aliens. My apologies for the interruption. Taeho marveled at the seamless transition. In seconds, these seemingly peaceful explorers had transformed into a coordinated unit ready for crisis. Captain, he said slowly, I begin to understand something about humans. You evolved on a world that required constant vigilance. Jisoo smiled. Earth shaped us in many ways. We faced predators, natural disasters, and unfortunately, conflict with each other. It taught us to be prepared, but also to value peace when we find it. As they continued their tour, Taeho's mind raced with implications. These humans were simultaneously more dangerous and more fascinating than any species the Confederacy had encountered. Their ship was built for war, yet they spoke earnestly of peace. They carried the capability for tremendous destruction, yet showed genuine curiosity about alien cultures. The galaxy had just become a much more complicated place. The diplomatic tour aboard the Prometheus continued into its second hour. Taeho and his delegation had just entered the ship's observatory dome, a transparent bubble offering breathtaking views of space. Captain Jisoo pointed out various stellar formations visible from their position. That cluster there, she explained, contains several systems we've identified as potentially habitable. Taeho's antennae quivered with interest. The Confederacy has cataloged many such worlds, though we colonize sparingly. Their conversation was interrupted when Communications Officer Dae Won contacted Taeho from the Celestial Harmony. Commander, our long-range sensors have detected multiple vessels approaching at high speed. They aren't responding to hails. Captain, Jisoo noticed the change in Taeho's posture. Is something wrong, Commander? Unidentified ships approaching, Taeho replied. This sector has occasionally seen activity from Traxian pirates, but they rarely venture this close to Confederate patrol routes. Jisoo's expression hardened instantly. She tapped her communication device. Bridge, this is the captain. Status. Report. Captain, we're tracking 5 vessels on an intercept course, reported her first officer. They're running without identification transponders and have weapons powered. Red alert. Battle stations. Jisoo's order was calm but firm. Throughout, the ship lighting shifted to a deep red and klaxons sounded. The human crew moved with practiced efficiency, all pretense of casual exploration gone. Captain, we should return to our vessel, said Taeho urgently. The Celestial Harmony is not equipped for combat. Agreed. Do-hyun, escort our guests to the shuttle bay immediately. Jisoo turned to leave, then paused. Commander Taeho, how experienced are your people at evasive maneuvers? Our ships are scientific vessels, Taeho admitted. We have minimal defensive capabilities and no military training, Jisoo nodded grimly. Then stay close to the Prometheus, we'll provide cover. As Do-hyun led the alien delegation toward the shuttle bay, the ship lurched suddenly. Security Chief Ju-ri stumbled, her scaled skin flashing warning colors. What was that? Asked Engineer Yoo-jin. We're taking evasive action, explained Do-hyun, helping Ju-ri regain her footing. The pirates have opened fire. Through viewport windows, they could see space light up with energy blasts. The Celestial Harmony was attempting to retreat, but 2 pirate vessels had cut off its escape route. A direct hit caused one of its engines to flare brightly. They've been hit, gasped biologist Sang-min. Our medical facilities aren't designed for combat casualties. They reached the shuttle bay as another impact rocked the Prometheus. This time, the humans barely seemed to notice. Your ship is under attack, yet you prioritize our safety? Asked. Taeho Do-hyun checked her weapon, a device the aliens hadn't noticed she carried until now. Captain's orders. Besides, the Prometheus can handle herself. Before they could board their shuttle, Captain Jisoo's voice came over the communication system. Change of plans. The Celestial Harmony has sustained significant damage. Their life support systems are failing. Do-hyun immediately redirected them. Follow me to emergency command, you'll be safer there. As they hurried through corridors now filled with purposeful human crew members, Taeho observed a transformation. Gone were the friendly explorers. In their place were disciplined warriors, executing complex protocols with practiced ease. They entered a reinforced chamber deep within the ship. Multiple screens showed the battle unfolding outside. The celestial harmony drifted helplessly while the 5 pirate vessels circled like predators. The Prometheus positioned itself between the Confederate ship and the attackers. "Captain, to all hands," Jisoo's voice rang through the ship. "Defensive pattern Sigma. Weapons free. Priority targets are vessels threatening the Confederate ship. Medical teams prepare to receive alien casualties." Taeho watched in awe as the massive human vessel surged forward. Energy weapons, unlike anything in Confederate technology, lanced out, striking the nearest pirate ship with surgical precision. "Your people evolved for this," Taeho said quietly to Do-hyun. "Combat is in your nature." Do-hyun checked a medical kit while watching the battle. "We evolved to protect what matters, Commander. Right now, that's your people." On the screens, they watched as the human warship executed maneuvers that seemed impossible for a vessel its size. The pirates, who had terrorized Confederate space for years, suddenly found themselves outmatched by a predator from beyond their experience. "The captain has authorized emergency transports," announced Do-hyun. "We're bringing your wounded crew aboard." Taeho's antennae trembled with realization. These humans, these warriors, were risking their lives for aliens they had just met. The galaxy had indeed changed forever, and Taeho wasn't sure whether to be terrified or grateful. The Prometheus pivoted smoothly in space, its massive engines flaring blue against the darkness. Captain Jisoo stood at the center of the bridge, her posture perfectly calm despite the chaos unfolding around them. 5 Traxian pirate vessels circled like hungry predators, their weapons creating webs of destructive energy across the battlefield. "Target the lead vessel's propulsion systems," Jisoo ordered. "Disable, don't destroy." Officer Q-Wan's fingers danced across the weapons console. Targeting solution acquired. The human warship released a precisely calculated burst of energy that struck the pirate flagship's engines. The effect was immediate. The vessel's movement became erratic, its weapons falling silent. In the emergency command center, Taeho and his delegation watched the battle with a mixture of horror and fascination. The screens showed the crippled celestial harmony drifting helplessly, while the Prometheus executed maneuvers that should have torn a ship of its size apart. "How can your vessel withstand such forces?" asked Engineer Yu-jin, her eyes wide as the Prometheus completed a tight turn that subjected it to tremendous G-forces. "Our inertial dampeners compensate," Do-hyun explained. "And human physiology can tolerate higher G-forces than most species." On another screen, they watched as human medical teams worked frantically to save injured Confederacy crew members. Medical Officer Sunmi directed the emergency response, her hands steady as she treated alien anatomies she had never encountered before. "Your species appears designed for crisis," observed Medical Officer Jin-woo. "Your heart rates barely increased when the attack began." Do-hyun smiled grimly. "Earth shaped us to respond quickly to danger. Our ancestors survived by adapting to threats." The ship shuddered as a pirate vessel landed a direct hit. Warning lights flashed, but the human crew responded with practiced efficiency, rerouting systems and making repairs without panic. "Damage. Report," Captain Jisoo demanded over the communication system. "Hull breach on Deck 12, came the response. "Emergency teams responding. Casualties reported." "Seal that section," ordered Jisoo. "Medical teams, prepare to receive our own wounded." Taeho's antennae drooped. "Your people are dying to protect us." "That's what humans do," Do-hyun said simply. On the tactical display, they watched as the Prometheus executed a daring maneuver, placing itself directly between the wounded Confederate ship and 3 attacking pirates. The human vessel absorbed hits meant for the aliens, its shields flaring bright blue with each impact. "Our shields are holding at 60%, reported Officer Q-Wan. "The pirates are attempting to flank us. Rotate shield distribution," ordered Jisoo. Launch countermeasures. The Prometheus released a swarm of small objects that confused the pirates' targeting systems. In the momentary confusion, the human ship struck again, disabling the weapons, systems of 2 more pirate vessels. The remaining pirates attempted to retreat, but the Prometheus pursued with relentless efficiency. Within minutes, all 5 pirate ships were disabled and drifting. "Captain," reported Communications Officer, Young Mi, "the pirate commander is requesting terms of surrender." "Accept their surrender," Jisoo said. "Security teams prepare boarding parties, medical stand by to treat enemy wounded." In emergency command, Taeho turned to Do-hyun in confusion. "You're going to help those who attacked us?" "They're no longer combatants," Do-hyun explained. "Captain Jisoo believes all sentient beings deserve basic care when they can no longer fight." The screens showed human security teams boarding the pirate vessels. They moved with practiced precision, securing enemies without unnecessary force. When they encountered wounded pirates, they called for medical assistance. "I don't understand," said Security Chief Ju-ri. "These pirates have terrorized our space for years. Your people are treating them with compassion." "Compassion isn't weakness," Do-hyun said. "It's strength. Humans learned that the hard way." As the battle concluded, Captain Jisoo entered the emergency command center. Despite the intensity of combat, she appeared composed and focused. "Commander Taeho," she said with a slight bow, "the immediate danger has passed. Your ship has sustained significant damage, but we've evacuated all your crew. No fatalities, though several are seriously injured." Taeho's forearms performed the highest gesture of respect in Rimari culture. "Captain, the Confederacy owes you a debt we cannot repay. You've shown us aspects of humanity we never imagined." Jisoo smiled tiredly. "This is just who we are, Commander. Explorers, diplomats, and when necessary, warriors, but always, we hope, honorable." The grand chamber of the Confederate Council hummed with nervous energy. Representatives from 37 species filled the circular hall, their voices creating a symphony of clicks, whistles, and translated speech. At the center stood Supreme Commander Taeho, still wearing the emergency medical patches that covered wounds from the pirate attack 3 days earlier. "Esteemed council members," Taeho began, his translator converting his clicks into the common language. "I stand before you today to speak of an encounter that will forever change our understanding of the galaxy." The massive screens surrounding the chamber displayed footage from the battle. The Confederate delegates watched in stunned silence as the human warship Prometheus moved with impossible grace, absorbing damage meant for the celestial harmony, while systematically disabling the pirate vessels. "For 5 centuries, the Confederacy has known peace," continued Taeho. "We evolved beyond warfare, dedicating ourselves to science and cooperation. We believed this was the natural path of all advanced civilizations." He gestured to a delegation seated in a special section of the chamber. Captain Jisoo and 5 human officers sat calmly, their simple blue uniforms standing out among the colorful robes and natural coverings of the alien representatives. "These humans have shown us another path. They evolved on a world that shaped them into warriors. Their technology, their ships, even their bodies are designed for conflict." Taeho's antennae straightened with emotion, yet they used these abilities not for conquest, but to protect strangers they had just met. Counselor Bonhua of the aquatic Neridian species raised a webbed hand. "Commander, our analysts are concerned. The combat capabilities of their vessel exceed anything in our defensive fleet. If these humans wanted to conquer our territories, they could have let the pirates destroy us," interrupted Taeho. "Instead, humans risked their lives for ours." The council chamber erupted in debate. Some representatives argued for creating a buffer zone between Confederate space and Earth territory. Others suggested immediately inviting humans into the Confederacy to secure their protection. "May I address the council?" Captain Jisoo's voice cut through the noise. Chair being, Hee-jun nodded. "The council recognizes Captain Jisoo of Earth." Jisoo walked to the center of the chamber, her steps measured and confident. "Honored representatives, I understand your concerns. Humanity's history contains chapters of conflict we are not proud of. But those struggles taught us the true value of peace. She activated a small device projecting images of Earth, blue oceans, green forests, and sprawling cities where millions of humans live together. We built the Prometheus not because we seek war, but because we understand the universe contains dangers. Our ship is designed to explore unknown regions and return safely with knowledge that benefits all. Engineer Min Ki of the crystalline Lumar people spoke next. Our analysis of your vessel suggests it contains weapon systems capable of planetary bombardment. Jisoo nodded calmly. The Prometheus carries defensive systems scaled to protect it during deep space exploration. However, I should clarify something important. She projected a new image, a massive vessel 3 times the size of the Prometheus with sleek lines and an obvious military design. This is the UES Thunderchild, one of our actual warships. The Prometheus is a mid-sized exploration vessel with enhanced defensive capabilities. It was never designed primarily as a weapon of war. The chamber fell completely silent. If the Prometheus could defeat 5 pirate ships with ease, what could an actual human battleship accomplish? Ambassador Yun-hai, the head of Earth's diplomatic corps, joined Jisoo at the center of the chamber. We come seeking friendship, not dominance. Humanity wishes to join the galactic community as equals, offering our protection to those who desire it and learning from your scientific and cultural achievements. Chair Being Heejun's voice trembled slightly. And if we refuse this friendship? Then we respect your decision, replied Ambassador Yun-hai. We would establish recognized borders and continue peaceful exploration elsewhere. 3 days of intensive debate followed. Scientific teams analyzed human technology. Cultural experts studied Earth history. Security specialists assessed potential threats. On the 4th day, the Confederate Council reached its decision. In a ceremony attended by representatives from all member species, Chair Being Heejun and Ambassador Yun-hai signed the Earth Confederate Alliance. Today marks a new chapter in galactic history, announced Heejun. Humanity brings something unique to our confederacy, the heart of explorers with the hands of protectors. As the ceremony concluded, Taeho approached Captain Jisoo. Your arrival has changed everything, he said quietly. Some still fear you. Jisoo smiled. Fear can become respect, and eventually friendship. It just takes time. And what does humanity seek from this alliance? Asked Taeho. The same thing all sentient beings seek, replied Jisoo, looking out at the stars visible through the chamber's dome. A future better than our past.